Hello, my garden friends, and welcome to my Sunday morning backyard garden tour. I'm super excited about today's video because there are so many changes going on in my garden, which is why I am now doing these weekly garden tours, and I have so much to show you. I have a new garden area that I actually started, and I'm going to reveal what my plans are for that area. Also, I want to show you more Vinca that I planted in my garden, and because I'm kind of promoting Vinca because it's so wonderful and a lot of my viewers are actually planting it now too, I'm also going to include a couple Vinca tips just to help you in case you're growing it too. And then also I want to show you my Super Tunia Vista bubblegum that I cut back, I pruned back, I gave them haircuts because this time of year they get so many bugs and pests, and I said, screw that, I'm done with the Super Tunia Vistas. But they all grew back. They're all growing back. It's like a miracle. So that's why I'm super excited about today's video. So much to show you. The first thing I want to show you is my bougainvillea, which is blooming again. It's fleshing out and looking just as beautiful as it did in the spring. This particular bougainvillea is called Elizabeth, in case you're ever wondering about the color. And this is only the second year. And as I was telling you in last week's garden tour, I mentioned that I was going to train the canes to grow up my patio, and I did that. I put some wire up there, and I'm hoping that it's going to go all the way across. But I just love this bougainvillea. Honestly, it's one of the easiest plants that I've ever grown. I know a lot of people have some hard times with it, but let me just tell you quickly how I grow bougainvillea. This might help you as well in case you want to try it. I just water it really, really good once a week. So in other words, I don't water it every day like I do all of my other plants. Just once a week, I give it a nice deep watering, and that's it. It just must love this spot. They love the heat. They love to be warm. So I'm thinking maybe because it's up against this garage, it's getting some heat. I have no idea, but that's my bougainvillea. Right here in my vintage bathtub, where I also have a lantana and my sweet potato vines, I cut all of this Super Tunia back. It was getting the budworms, and I bought the spray BT, which did help, but then, I don't know, the bugs were kind of winning, and I didn't want to keep dousing them with so much spray. So I cut them all back. And look there's blooms all over these again. So I'm hoping before fall, I'm gonna have another Super Tunia Vista bubblegum show. And here's my vintage bathtub from this angle. I love the way the sweet potato vine is just cradling that pretty little coleus in that painted pot. Inside the tub, I am also growing some Vinca. And did you notice I removed my tropical milkweed, the aphids? It just got infested. That's all I'm gonna say. And behind the vintage bathtub, I'm growing some pepper plants. The reason why I put them back there is because my garden is so small. So I try to make use of all the space that I have. See, if I stand right here, you can't even see them. So I guess you could kind of say it's like a little hiding place to grow more things. And I also have lots of zinnias that I grew from seed. Look how tall my volunteer sunflower got. I couldn't be more thrilled because that sunflower is going to act as a stake. Because you know, sometimes our cut flowers tend to flop, but I think the sunflower will help hold it up. And look at my friends, more zinnias over here. And over here is my little Dollar Tree fairy garden. I call it my Dollar Tree fairy garden because those little stepping stones, those little garden decor I got from the Dollar Tree. And then this is the area where I let my grandchildren play with Dollar Tree fairy garden decor. Do you notice anything different, my friends? Do you notice anything new? I planted more Vinca. I know it probably comes as no surprise to you. I'm the Vinca queen. But I just figured this would be a nice spot for it because Vinca does like full sun. Even a little relief from the afternoon sun is okay. They certainly won't complain. So I just thought this area, the Vinca, would bring a little color in, and because it's so easy for me to grow. I grow in California, Zone 9B, in case you don't know me, and my name is Liz, for those of you who are new to my channel. Hi again. And I love Vinca, which brings me to a couple Vinca tips that I want to share with you. Let me just quickly walk you through the back of my garden, then I'll bring you to the other side and talk to you about those Vinca tips. Real quick, this is my succulent propagation station where I experiment and have fun with succulents, making new ones and propagating them. And over here is my water fountain garden, which is framed by two gorgeous crepe myrtle trees. This one is a white Natchez. It's like a variation, a new improved white Natchez, which means after it's done blooming, the blossoms fall off instead of remaining on the tree. So the tree always looks fresh rather than, sometimes white blossoms, they tend to stick on the branches and they look dirty. So this is the new improved white Natchez. And behind this is my red dynamite crepe myrtle tree. And remember a couple of weeks ago when I removed this butterfly bush that was in between my Gara and my Miss Figgy fig tree? I told everybody that I was going to give it to my girlfriend Diane for her garden. Well, as you can see, I already delivered it to her and she planted it in the ground. Yay! When I get rid of plants, I love knowing that they went to a different home and in a different garden. It just makes me so happy. Now let me take you to the other side of my garden where I can share some Vinca tips and also show you my new garden area that are in the works. This is my shade garden and I have some agapanthus that are blooming. My hostas are blooming. I'll probably cut the flowers off because I grow those for foliage, not necessarily for the flowers. And here's a back side view of my cactus corner where I grow succulents, and because they're so low maintenance for me, and that beautiful pink cordyline with the sun shining through it. I call this area in my garden my center iron plant stand. It's absolutely beautiful, and somebody handcrafted this plant stand. I have hanging baskets filled with wave petunias, some creeping Jenny, Vinca minor or major, whatever. But down below, I'm growing Vinca. Now, every week I talk about Vinca, 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 Vinca. That's because Vinca performs so well for me in my garden. And I know a lot of my viewers are trying Vinca for the first time. I kind of feel responsible in case something doesn't go right for you. So I just want to quickly give you some easy Vinca tips so you are successful growing it too, because I kind of feel responsible if it doesn't work out for you. Number one, Vinca do not like their feet to get wet. So normally when I would water these wave petunias every day, I don't water the Vinca every day. Maybe every other watering I'll water the Vinca. So maybe they get water 3 times a week. If you notice your Vinca to start looking droopy, you might think it's thirsty and give it more water, but in reality those roots might be drowning, because whenever I have killed Vinca in the past, it was always because they were overwatered. Very rarely do I kill Vinca because they're too thirsty. If Vinca's too thirsty, then if I give it water, it'll perk back up. So how do you know if your Vinca is wilting because of lack of thirst or wilting because the roots are dying? If it's looking all wilty and you water it and it doesn't perk up, chances are it's overwatered. Back off on the water if it's not too late. Here's another tip that I hope you will find very helpful this time of year. Now that the weather is heating up, Vinca will start to go to seed. That's okay, it's not done blooming, but in order to prolong the longevity of your blooms, cut those seed pods off. Unless you want it to go to seed and you want to save the seed for next year, do that later. Do that later in the fall when it's going to go to seed and stop blooming early winter. For now, cut those seed pods off. It's really easy. See all those long, shiny, hard green things? Those are seed pods. So you will sacrifice some blooms, but that's okay. So what I'll do is I'll just, right down here on the bottom, I'll just cut that off. Pruning them will definitely help with the shape of the plant, because sometimes when they're trying to make seeds, they might look a little leggy and not as compacted. So don't be scared to do it. Or if you want to, you can just snip off the seed pods like that. Maybe a plant doesn't look leggy, so I'll just take off the seed pods in that case. And look at my friends, remember all the Supertunia vistas that I cut back? You saw it in last week's garden tour. This vintage bathtub was looking mighty sad, but they're all growing back. I even have fresh new blooms. I honestly wasn't expecting these to grow back like they did, but I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm so glad I didn't rip them out. And over here behind Abby is my sweet little cottage garden. And I have Vinca growing in those stacked pots as well. And over here is my scarecrow garden. This is Freya the farmer with Lottie the lamb and Petunia the pig, thanks to all my viewers who helped me name them. Now, just as promised, here is my new garden area that I'm working on, my new themed garden area. In case you're new to my channel, you may not be fully aware, but I have little themed areas in my garden. My cottage garden, my scarecrow garden, my water fountain garden, and my fairy garden. Well, this is the future home of a new themed garden, and this is what I'm planning on doing here. I know originally I said I was either going to put a water fountain here or maybe a wishing well, and all of my viewers, thank you so much to all of you for all your suggestions. And it was just last week I'm thinking, hey, what about putting a wheelbarrow here filled with flowers? So I was seriously considering that, but nope. That's not it either. I came up with a brand new plan altogether. It just hit me like, wow, I could have had a V8. The idea just came to me. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove this cordy line. I'm gonna put a dry creek fountain coming right there. And then I bought the cutest little bridge that I'm gonna have go over the fountain with some stepping stones, and that's just a rough draft of my idea for this area. So I guess you could say this might be called my little bridge garden or my little gnome garden. Who knows? I might add some decorations. Maybe I'll even put a small little water feature behind here to give it the illusion of the dry creek, like there's water in it. So that's my idea for this area, the future home of my new bridge garden. Oh, and look who decided to come over to my garden and say hello. This is not my cat, although I do have 3 cats. This is Peanut. This is the neighborhood cat. Oh, Peanut, you're such a sweetheart. All the cats seem to conglomerate into my garden. They like it here, maybe because I leave food out for them. And Peanut is a sweetheart. Oh yes, a good boy, Peanut. I told the neighbors if they ever move that they could leave Peanut here with me. We will love you. I hope you enjoyed today's garden tour, and I hope you have a beautiful day in your garden too. Bye.